So hello and welcome to 1990. This is my special guest, No.6, Leanne Macdonald from Northumberland. And the title of today's little chat is My Mental Health Rocks. Leanne, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on here today. And you have been super busy recently.
I have.
Been on the TV and you're being interviewed, and it's kind of like, you're kind of famous these days, hey?
Well, I don't know about being famous, but I've certainly been putting myself out there.
Putting yourself out there, yeah. So, Leanne and I have never actually met in real life. We've got close. Really close. So I know Leanne, even though her name says Jules, we know it's Leanne. and we met, or we got introduced via Scott, and that's Leanne's husband. And Scott was introduced to the principals a couple of years ago in Spain, and he kind of must have taken that back, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna hear that story of how you got from what you heard to where you've been, yesterday, or the day before. When were you on TV? When were you being recorded on TV?
2 days ago. 2 days ago. Yeah. So yesterday I lay down all day in a dark room. So it was the day before that.
Oh wow! Because I saw it. I saw the post of you and the TV crew and everything, and it was lovely to see that. But so, just sort of backtracking a little bit, we almost met because you were booked to come on a retreat, one of the Love and Clarity retreats just earlier in the year. And that was exciting. And just to get you there, and you're going to bring your dad. And then last minute, you realised that your passport had run out.
That whole thing, like everything was against me travelling to Spain, wasn't it? It was just one thing after another.
Yeah, and it was like you couldn't come, no way, because you're busy, you've got 4 kids, haven't you? And
4 children,
and you have, so you're busy, right? You're busy. Yeah. And you were nearly coming, and just to get the children organised, and then they couldn't, that wasn't going to happen. You were only going to come part-time, just going for half the week.
Yeah, for a few days.
And then
it actually, the reason became quite clear as to why I didn't go, because I wouldn't have been able to meet Julie, who I work with now, for a coffee that we had arranged had I gone to Spain.
Right.
We wouldn't have met.
Yeah.
So, and that just occurred to me a couple of weeks ago.
Everything's always happening just as it's meant to, but that's quite a cliche, isn't it? We say that, everything's happening just as it's meant to, but
true.
We like to be in control sometimes of our experience. We like to be in control of the story, and so we get in the way of just letting it kind of unfold and see what's going to happen. And I mean, there's something about that, seeing that it's about experience. It's not about good experience. It's not about this is
the journey, isn't it? It's the adventure.
The
see what comes. And it's something I used to be terrified of, and now I absolutely embrace it. I kind of wake up and think, what might happen today?
and then suddenly you go, oh my God, nothing shocks me. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I've got that. That's what I'm always saying. Nothing shocks me. Nothing shocks me anymore. Oh my God. Yeah. So would you be? I would love you to just sort of tell us a bit more about My Mental Health Rocks, and tell us about what happened from how you kind of how you came to be doing what you're doing now.
Yeah. So obviously Scott came to the centre because he was having a few kind of struggles in life. And prior to him coming, I had spent a good couple of years trying to help him. And the only way that I felt I could help him was to learn different treatments and therapies. So I had been studying CBT, NLP, because in my mind, I couldn't help him by just being there. So I thought if I could help him understand why he was in the situation he was. And then he came to the centre. And then he sent me a message, a text message, and said Amanda had said, check out. And I think it was a link to the 3 principal movies.
No, yeah, yeah.
website.
It's called Innate Evolution now.
Yeah,
But it used to be
yeah,
called the Three Principles Movies website with Rudy Kenner.
yeah, yeah, that's right. So I clicked on it and joined and signed up and watched. I went on a binge watch of all of the kind of different videos and sessions that they had on there.
Oh, we've lost you.
Sense.
We just missed that. I think you just muted yourself.
Oh, sorry, might be my signal. So I went on a binge of all of these kind of different videos and things that were on this site, and something made perfect sense, but I couldn't quite verbalize that, if that made sense. It was very clear to me that everything that I'd been learning and how I'd been working with people, because I went on to start working one-to-one with mums, really, in like a coaching capacity. And I had over 40 ladies I was working with at that time, and I just emailed them all. It's
gone again.
Oh, has it?
No problem. Carry on.
Is it back? I'm not sure if it's my signal or not.
I don't know, yeah, there's just a little interruption, but just carry on, I'll let you know.
Hang on.
So you're working with 40 mums.
Yeah, 40 mums, and I was using all of these, NLP techniques and life coaching strategies, and I was approaching their problems with the need to resolve them and come up with solutions for them. So after watching a few videos with Rudy and Anne, I just knew that what I was doing wasn't the right direction. It didn't make sense to me anymore. So I messaged all of these ladies and said, I wish you well, but I need this, I think I need to do a bit of exploration in another area. I just felt like I felt like I was leading them down the wrong path, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To get to the right place, after kind of taking them off course. So then I went on a little bit of an exploration myself, and just really spending a lot of time listening to webinars and reading different books and things. And my biggest insight isn't that amazing. I watched a lot of videos where people were talking about years of struggles dropping away, and I was kind of waiting for this big crescendo moment to happen. And in my head, getting an insight, I imagined God with a big megaphone, going, Leanne, you know what it is?
Leanne Macdonald.
Yes.
Wake up.
So I think I got in my own way of I was waiting for this big presentation to happen, and actually it happened around a PayPal transaction. It was really quite insignificant, but in that moment a lot of things flashed in front of me, and from that moment on I just don't take life too seriously. I don't, as I say, I wake up and I'm really excited to just experience whatever comes. And I'm in that kind of phase now where I just kind of want to tell everybody about this. It's like, why did people not know this? So I met Julie for a coffee after I couldn't travel to Spain, and she is very much the same. And we just decided to jump in. I was working in schools, she was working in schools, and we kind of came together. We started to go into schools together, and we just, it came out of the clouds. I thought, let's just try and get this out into every single school across the UK. So we started to put together My Mental Health Rocks.
And what is that? What is that exactly?
It's basically a campaign to fully fund. So we're doing a lot of fundraising initiatives to actually pay for this. So every single school can apply for this 90-minute workshop that we've created.
Okay.
And it's basically the 3 principles in a snapshot. So it's an amalgamation of all of these different lessons that we go out into schools and teach. But it's quite upbeat and it's very fun. And we end at the last session that we did for ITV. Because all of the kids were up dancing, and it was like a very uplifting experience, and we want to just go into every single school and give them that little experience.
Nice.
Those little few moments to see how much change we can make.
Wonderful. And I saw yesterday it's got all the way to Canada. You've now got campaigns going in Canada, My Mental Health Rocks Canada. And so you and Julie have been doing this, going into local schools, I'm guessing, and maybe you're spreading. And then is there anybody else who's come on board with My Mental Health Rocks? Or
yeah, so we've just finished training 21 facilitators. So we've got people down in Cornwall, like all across the UK.
Wow.
Yeah, so we contacted schools and we've got over 800 signed up already.
800 schools?
Over 800, yeah. Wow. So they're all waiting for this workshop to happen. So we're kind of just trying to match the demand with the funding and getting the facilitators trained, because we're just training them to deliver this one session.
Right. So there's one session per class for any age group, or?
It's from the age of 5. Currently it's from 5 up to 10.
Wow.
But we're working with the Spark Initiative to do a high school alternative as well, so for older children. And then an opportunity for us to go into early years of universities just come up as well. So it should cover children from the age of 5 all the way up to 20 eventually, you know, as it kind of rolls out.
Oh,
and Canada's the first country, but there's 4 others that aren't yet signed, so I can't really say anything, but it's going to go out in other countries as well.
Right, well, put Spain on the list. Come and train me. Come and train me up. I mean, so I'm so excited. I'm going to be doing the iHeart training.
Yeah.
Hosting here in Javier, in my hometown. I'm hosting iHeart to do a facilitator training.
Yeah.
So that starts in January, and you know, it's just wonderful that all of a sudden all our dreams, which was to get this out to as many people as possible, then it just so happened that I came into the world of recovery, and somebody else has happened to go there, and somebody else is there, and that, you know, it's starting to become this kind of like household name.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've just gone all like goose.
It's exciting. It's
and
exciting.
800 schools.
Yeah. Just getting a glimpse. Getting a glimpse of this understanding.
So what happens then when one school says, "Oh my God, that was amazing. We want to kind of, you know, we want more of this." Well,
we're going to keep up the communication. So we've already, when schools are contacting us, we're already starting that conversation with them and chatting, and we'll follow up after the session on a more permanent basis. So that might be like me and Julie are going down to an academy that has over 16 schools as part of this academy.
I think there's something, Leanne, I think there's something on your computer that's buzzing. I think that's what it is. There's like maybe one of your little, maybe is there any thing open, any pages open?
Let me just
like
check.
Facebook or any of the WhatsApp, or if any of those can be closed down. So how, you know what, that is so amazing for me to hear that from Scott sending you a little kind of like, check out this 3 Principles Movies website, that then you've, you know, this is what happens. It goes from one person to one person to one person. And, you know, and the dream that the children of today will hear this, that when they grow up and something is occurring, that it might just even, you know, it might just even appear to them that, okay, like, oh, that's just kind of my thinking. That doesn't mean that's really true. That might stop somebody from doing something they shouldn't really be doing, or from, you know, it's incredible for children to start to realize where their feelings truly come from. And it's not an easy, you know, it's not all, I think it's probably easier with children. I mean, it's going to be a new experience for me going in, especially sort of working with the teenagers, which is something I'm still so drawn to do at the moment. I'm going to stay at the recovery centre part-time, and so I'll still be, you know, be able to reach out in the world of recovery. But to go, you know, I hear again and again when people are in here, oh, this happened when I was a teenager, or this happened here, this happened when I was young. It's like, oh my goodness, why, you know, why are we waiting until people have got themselves in such a pickle, got their knickers in a twist, got, you know, caused themselves so much stress and anxiety and suffering that they don't know they're causing themselves, right? You know, it really appears like it's coming from the world outside and their situations and their circumstances and their their past or their traumas or whatever. It really, really feels like that. I mean, that's the game. It's very clever, you know, that it feels real. That's very, very clever. But when you know, if rather than waiting for people to end up in treatment centres where they've kind of got to the height of their anxiety, the height of their addiction, that the fact that this could be something that they might have just heard in a youth club, heard at the football academy, heard, you know, because their mum's just read an article in the newspaper, heard on the radio, heard, you know, and I totally get your this want to kind of shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
That was me, you know. I think 2012 was when I kind of was introduced. I went to a talk with Jack Prensky in Spain, and it was like a year later that I went to another talk by Jack Prensky in Spain. And in that year, I'd only spent an hour listening to him, and I bought one of his books, Parenting from the Heart.
I have got that.
Yeah, and I'd read maybe half the book, but what I noticed that year, all of my clients, I used to offer back then massage and reflexology and Reiki and all the sort of holistic therapies. And I noticed that, you know, I was pointing people to, why don't you go and check out the 3 principles and check out Jack Prensky, and you know, I've been reading this book, and then this little voice popped into my head, which was, why don't you go and check it out, right?
Yeah.
And that was really curious for me, because I'd been sharing something that I hadn't really got into myself. And I think what I realized, that when I went to that first talk and that first year, where I used to get a newsletter from Sheila Massad, who introduced me to it, and sometimes I'd read the newsletter and sometimes I wouldn't, because you don't have time. And, you know, realizing now, like, all these nuggets of wisdom that were like being shared. I was too busy doing what, you know, too busy doing this and too busy doing that, and too busy trying to fix people, and too busy trying to save people, and too busy trying to rescue people.
When I think now of when I used to work with people, and I used to send them through a little form to complete, so I was prepared. So I had this whole strategy prepared for our first call. Like, it makes me laugh to think that that's how, you know, there's no fixing to be done. It's just this understanding. What's really exciting is we invite the parents along to the sessions as well.
Oh, amazing.
Parents, grandparents. And the first session we did, you could see the light bulbs going off. And that kind of just really got the momentum going.
That thing, don't they? They kind of, you know,
and
you hear people laugh, like the laugh of insight. They're like, oh my God, I've been doing that for years. Oh my God.
And we get them to join in as well. So we get them to participate, because it's a very interactive, the whole 90 minutes is opportunity for conversation, but we're doing it in such a way that the kids can stay engaged and they're interested, and, you know, it becomes all about them and what they want to share. So we get the parents up as well, and it's great when they are nervous or they really don't want to do it, because we can use that as an example of where that feeling's actually coming from. So it's just very exciting.
It is amazing. I take my hat off to you, Leanne, because I remember speaking to you. You were meant to come on retreat to the Spanish mountains on the Love and Character retreat, and that would have been March the 15th or 13th or something like that. And so from March 2019 to September of 2019, like 6 months, you guys have got this together, got out there, you know, and the thing is, we know it's not even you guys, we know it's the energy of life that's doing it, but you've just gone with it and allowed it to happen and not get in the way, right?
I think as well, I spent a lot of time almost stalking the Department for Education until somebody would actually speak to me.
Wow.
Because we're going into schools, and a lot of the schools kind of have very strict guidelines of what they want people who are coming into school to deliver. And perhaps some of the stuff doesn't particularly meet that in black and white. So we spent a lot of time understanding what it is that the Department for Education have put out there to the schools. And we've kind of adapted our language. So I think that's why we've got over 800 schools, because to them we tick all their boxes, because we really do. It's just, if we were to word it perhaps how we would truly like to word it, we wouldn't have over 800 schools signed up. So we've spent a lot of time.
You've got to play the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's
Once
it.
we're in there, that's when we start sowing those little seeds.
Yeah, so it just is amazing. We're farmers, aren't we? We've become farmers.
Yeah.
And so we could talk. I know we could talk and do a lot more talking. I think maybe soon we'll do something together. We'll do a longer interview session. I'd really love that. But I've promised to keep these short and sweet. These are 90 powerful little conversations with 90 fabulous people in 90 days. And you are certainly up there as a fabulous like mentor. You know, it's just amazing. And you've made it happen, or it's happened.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's like actually, I don't make it happen, you don't make it happen. It just happens.
Yeah.
If we let it.
It's so true. So true.
So I'm so curious. I want to know if anybody listening on here is a teacher, works with children, is just sort of, you know, curious about what's really happening. Where should they look and find out more for you?
There's the website mymentalhealthrocks.com, or you can find us on Facebook as well. We've got a Facebook page which is just My Mental Health Rocks.
My Mental Health Rocks.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the title. I love the energy behind it. And I am, just want to do a big thank you to you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I want you to train me up. Will you train me up?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and let's, it's so super exciting. Okay, lots and lots of love to you. We're going to say cheerio and, just crack on with it. Keep going.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you so much. Okay, lovely. See you soon.